Sometimes you are careful about the behavior you offer because you are aware that others are watching your behavior and they hold you to standards. Jerry and Esther receive a box every Saturday from the office, and in the box this Saturday was a speeding ticket for Esther. A camera had taken their picture and a picture of the license plate, which Esther thought she'd blurred sufficiently, but apparently not. In other words, you tend to want to modify your behavior if there are those who are watching and disapproving. And you even tend to watch your words if others are listening who might disapprove. Because many of you, in fact, most of you, have set yourselves into a mindset that you care about what others think about you. You care how they respond. Esther doesn't mind speeding, but she does not want a speeding ticket. Which means speeding doesn't feel like her problem. Getting caught speeding is what feels like the real problem. And so many of you are guiding yourselves based upon the response that you will get from others to your behavior or to your words. And since you don't think that they can hear your thoughts, you don't worry so much about your thoughts. You're more careful about what you do and what you say. Not always. You're getting bolder as you get older. But the older you are, the less you care. Because you come to realize that they're really not all on your side, or most of them, or hardly any of them anyway. But what we're wanting you to come to realize is that you are broadcasting and the universe is responding. And if instead of modifying your behavior or your words or your thoughts to what you think others' responses will be, if instead you are using the guidance system, which is the vibrational awareness between the two vibrational vantage points of you and you, then you will have guidance that you can really count on. And what we mean by that is, before you came into this physical body, you were consciousness. And now you are in this physical body, you still are consciousness. But you are not non-physical consciousness and then physical consciousness. It isn't what you call dead and then alive. You are always non-physical consciousness. And even while you are here in this physical body, it's only a small part of the consciousness that is really you that is participating in this personality that you know as you. It's like there's you and there's you. And the you part of you is the eternal part of you that is gathering and expanding and knowing and loving. It's the best of all that you have lived, collected by that point of view. Some refer to that non-physical part of you as soul. We like to call it source. Some call it God. We like to call it all that is. In other words, this non-physical part of you that is expanding and evolving and becoming the joyful, loving, absolute understanding of worthiness being that you are, that part of you is active and alive within you at all times. And that's what you want to begin paying attention to. We don't want you to guard your words or your behavior because someone in your physical format may approve or disapprove. Although we know how nice it is to be appreciated and approved of. When someone holds you as their object of attention and they are tuned into source energy and in their appreciation as they hold you in that gaze, we know how good that feels to you, and we can understand why you would become addicted to that. It's lovely to be adored. It's lovely to be appreciated. But then they must give you their undivided attention, and they must never find an aspect of you that they disapprove of. Or you feel like a puppet that someone has let go of the string. If you are counting on your feedback from other humans as what guides you, and so many are, and you are killing one another in massive droves as you are disagreeing with the thoughts that you are offering and the behaviors that you are living, if you would, instead of trying to guide yourself in the impossible way, have you ever tried to guide yourself that way? Someone you care about? Maybe it started out as one of your parents or both of them. It's hard if there were two of them because they weren't the same. They wanted different things from you, nearly drove you crazy when you were little. But have you ever had someone who You so want to please them, and you stand on your head. You train yourself into the behavior and even thought processes that they want from you. And they're very good at it, aren't they? They smile or they frown. They hug or they slap. They bless you with benefit or they withhold from you things that you want. In other words, it's pretty easy for someone to train you. Have you ever been trained by someone? And then, just when you thought you were as good as they wanted you to be, they changed their point of view. They set up different standards. So the hoops and the jumping just became more and more and more. Have you ever had two people in your life that you were trying to please who were different, who wanted different things from you? So you please that one when that one's around, and that one when that one's around. And oh, please don't ever let them be in the same room at the same time. You find yourself being a schizophrenic. You find yourself shutting down, not showing who that one knows you to be to that one, or who that one knows you to be to that one, because things don't go well when you do that. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever walked into a room and you can feel that something was going on in there before you got there? That now you're there, they're not talking about it anymore? In other words, you've been going crazy trying to measure yourself against other humans who have different standards about how you should behave. And this is the most interesting part of that. When you change your behavior to please them, you teach them or call them away from their own guidance system too. In other words, when you deliberately modify your behavior to try to make someone happy, what you teach them is conditional love. You say, oh sure, I'll do everything in my power to change the conditions so that you can feel better. And unless everybody in their life does that, then they're not that happy, are they? If they need your behavior to change. But when you remember that you were source energy before you were born, and you still are source energy even though you're in this body, and that source energy part of you is love. So when you're focused upon something and not feeling love, you've got two different vibrations going on within you. And law of attraction's response to the two vibrational aspects of you cause you then to feel negative emotion. That's what your emotional guidance is. Your emotional guidance, the emotions that you feel, are your indicator in every moment of how close the thought you're thinking in your physical body right now matches the thought of who you really are. So as we're moving forward here today, we want to show you how to tell your new story. We want you to tell the story of what's over here in your vibrational escrow. You don't need to keep telling the story of why you put it in vibrational escrow. You don't have to explain to the universe. Your mother, we sort of got that. Your mother, you found that if you pleaded a really needy case, sometimes she'd give up the goods. But when you plead a needy case to the universe, you hold yourself in the vibration of need, and the universe, the abundant universe, cannot give you. Your need cannot be fulfilled. Your needs cannot be fulfilled. Need and fulfillment are opposite vibrations on the vibrational scale. If you need it, you can't get it. Isn't that interesting? Jerry and Esther have a lovely friend who's a waiter at a restaurant in Boston. They look forward to seeing him twice a year when they go back, and they eat there every day for the time that they are there. They become very good friends, and he gives them the most delightful experience. There is everything about him that they adore. And on the next to the last night, Esther gave him a very remarkable gratuity. And the next night, he said to them, I don't need that kind of gratuity from you. And Esther said, and if you did, we wouldn't give it to you. We never give out of need. We don't look around for lackful people. It defies the laws of the universe. When you are in your thriving, that's when you draw from us. The more someone thrives, the more we want to play. The more someone needs, the more invisible to us they are. When you are a vibrational match to thriving, you hook up with the other thrivers that law of attraction has amassed in your vibration. When you hook up with needers, You hold yourself apart from the thriving you've asked for, and law of attraction hooks you up with other needers. It's just law. It's just truth. It's just fact. It's just evidence of vibration. So you can play it any way you want. You can tell a needy story. You can tell a prosperous story. And if you're in need, we understand how the needy story comes easier. Those words are easier, and in many cases you've practiced them longer, and you have very funny stories to tell in your needy way. But if you will begin practicing the new story, if you're in need and you tell an angry story instead of a fearful or powerless story, your angry story will serve you, because there's more empowerment in your angry story than there was your needy, powerless story. But after a while, your angry story will not serve you. After a while, a less angry story will serve you better. And after a while, a story of frustration will serve you. Now, if you're really feeling powerless, don't try to tell a positive story. You'll choke on your own words and trip over your own tongue. It will backfire, because those vibrational frequencies are too far apart, and you can't fake it. You can't fake a vibration to the universe. So, if you are telling a story of frustration, now try to tell a more hopeful story. And once your hopeful stories on the dominant subjects of your life become normal practice stories to you, when you start feeling hopeful, when you are in a place of hope, you are in the vibrational range of your vortex. And if you can stay there, if you can manage to maintain a hopeful story, I'm really looking forward to wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be nice if? Won't it be nice when? If you can maintain those good feeling stories, you'll be close enough to this vortex that it will bring you in to where the rendezvous and the things that you've been asking for are. And then, as the manifestations begin to occur, you easily move from hopeful into knowing. Do you need to know something before it will be? No. You just need to be within range so that the universe can show you that it is. In other words, when you believe something, the universe will show it to you again and again. But how can you believe something you doubt? You have to work your way into closer and closer and closer belief. And when you get into the range of belief, the universe will give you the evidence to take you all the way in. And once you begin hanging around in belief on those subjects, you will come to a place of knowing. You will know your power. You will know your value. You will know the well-being of this time-space reality. You will know the well-being of the eternal nature of that which you are. You will know the reason for your being. You will come to remember that you came forth not to fix things that are broken. You came forth to explore the environment, to make things that are better through the clarity of that which you are about. You are focusing mechanisms. You are creative genius. And you create through the stories you tell, through the thoughts you think, through the life you live, through the vibration that you offer. You have control of the vibration you offer because you have control of the thoughts you think. And you have control of the thoughts you think because you have the capacity to tell an improved story no matter what. You got to let go of the idea that you are a documentarian here describing the history of where you live. Many, in their quest for truth, in their quest for knowing what's really going on, they have demanded from you that you tell it like it is. Tell me the truth. Tell it like it is. Tell me where you've been, what you've been doing. Tell me where you are. And we say, don't do it. Don't do it. It will root you to the spot. Tell it like you want it to be. Tell it as it is becoming. Tell it as you've hoped for. Tell it as you've dreamed for. Tell it as it exists in reality, in vibrational escrow. Tell us where you're going. Tell us why you want to go there. Tell us what it will be like when you get there. Train yourself into the vibration that matches who you really are and what you really want. And let life in its real life manifested form reflect it back to you vividly.